Welcome, everybody. Welcome to a Social Web Cafe interview. And today we have Alicia Lawrence. Welcome, Alicia.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me, Deb.
Sure thing. I was trying to think how we met. I think we met in my blog. Yes. Is that how we met originally?
Yes, it was through the blogging group where we all blogged on each other's blogs.
Yes. I think we've transversed, as with a lot of people. It's like I'll find them in one group and then it's like, oh, I know you. And, when you're all done, you don't know exactly where you met, but you just end up in the same groups.
Yes.
So we've guest posted on each other's blogs, and I'm so impressed by your writing quality. Like what that post that you had on growmap.com on Caterpillar. I thought, who comes up with the concept?
Well, Caterpillar is actually one of our clients here. We have a lot of their subsidiaries come through our web development and content marketing program here. So I knew a lot about the company.
Okay, that makes more sense because I was seemed random. Wow, that was so brilliant. So why don't you start? You're welcome. Why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself and what you do? And obviously, don't share anything you don't want to, which not that you would even if I said so. But I mean, if you want to share the company you work for, whatever you want to share, go ahead and start with about Alicia.
Well, I actually was born and raised in Alaska, which is a really fun fact about me. Yes. And I went away for college in Liberty University in Virginia, where I met my husband. And at Liberty University, I actually started off as a theater major and somehow ended up in communications. And then on top of that, I said, well, why just get a degree in broadcasting because I wanted to become an anchor? Why not add on a public relations degree, because I took a career test and they said I'd be good at public relations. So I added on that degree. And then after I added it on, my career advisor was like, why are you doing broadcasting and public relations? You should, switch one out for journalism because that seems to be more of a fit. I thought, that's a good idea. So I took a look at the plan and realized I only needed 3 more classes to do a journalism degree because I could fit it all in my electives. So I was able to graduate with 3 degrees in just 4 years with honors.
Wow. Wow.
And I didn't sleep the entire time. No, that's not completely true. I love my sleep. And then afterwards, I started interning for a PR agency and then eventually got hired here at Webpage FX. We're a full-service internet marketing agency in Harrisburg, PA. And I work in the earned media and public relations department doing content marketing and writing and a whole bunch of different odd-end jobs there as well.
Wow. I mean, wow, there's so many different aspects. By the way, you're in the same town as my co-host for Marketing Momentum, Charles Terrence Harper. So I'm jealous because we keep talking about, I feel like I've known him forever because we've been doing this show for, I don't know, we're going 4 years or whatever it is. And you know how you get to that point where you really feel well, you do, you know each other, but it's wow, I can't even come over for coffee because you're on the other coast. Yeah.
Well, I'll have to go take him out to coffee for you.
Okay, there we go. That will work. Wow, that is. I graduated summa cum laude, but I only had 1 degree.
Yeah, I mean, it really just worked out that I was able to do all 3. And then I've been at Webpage FX for over 2 years now. And then on the side, I also have another job as a Disney princess. So I go to little kids' parties and I get dressed up as different characters and I sing to them and we play games and I crown the birthday girl.
Oh my goodness, you have a fun life, I got to say.
Well, thank you. I do. Got to keep it interesting, right?
Yes, definitely. So, okay, we started this out. I was talking about how much I admire you as far as a quality writer. I mean, there's a lot of writers out there, you know that, but how do I say this in a politically correct way? There are certain writers that stand out, and you're one of them in my mind as exceptional writers. So, yeah, because there's some that just write, and then there's Alicia Lawrence. But, I want to post this interview on collegerecruiter.com, and I really want to encourage college students and listening to you describe your life, especially 3 degrees. What advice I might be taking this a little different direction than what you expected, but I'm really curious, how do we encourage college students as far as, and you referenced a couple different things, changing direction. What kind of advice can you give people as far as what if they're not thinking about checking with their advisor or finding the right fit? What can we tell people?
It's really hard because, to be honest, a lot of people go through college and they get a degree and they still feel like they don't really have that passion for whatever they got a degree in, or they can't get a job in that field for some reason. And a lot of my friends came up with this situation, and I was just really blessed by God, just stumbled upon a major that I'm good at and I love, and I don't feel like many people get that opportunity. But when it comes to finding it, I mean, really just experiment. You kind of have to go with all different fields that you might find interesting. For example, when I went into theater, I thought that was going to be the only thing I would ever do with my life. That was like my passion. That's like the only class I was good at in high school. And so, you know, after I acted a little bit in my freshman and sophomore years, I realized, you know what, maybe I could do something else. And so I experimented with writing, and I was able to write on a few blogs. I'm like, you know, I really enjoy the creative aspects of writing. And then when I got into the broadcasting major, I found that I enjoyed script writing versus actually acting, and, you know, exploring those different creative aspects. So really when it comes to like, and communication is just so broad in general.
That's true.
That you really have to just kind of dabble in everything just to see. And then once you find it, like really dive deep and specialize into that. Because one thing that I almost didn't do correctly in college was I almost scattered myself too thin across all these different fields, so that I didn't really specialize, so that when I went into the career field, people were like, oh, well, you know, yeah, you're kind of good at this and kind of good at this, but we need someone who can specialize. So that's really important, to find what you can actually specialize and succeed in.
So it sounds like, listening to you describe your path, and I realize that, you know, not all of us have the same path, but if I kind of distill this down, it's like, don't specialize so much, like your path on theater, that you don't do the other things, but don't, like, there's got to be a balance between the two. And you did it with three special.
Yes. Yeah, that was kind of tricky. And I did have to sacrifice some things in college to be able to really figure out, well, you know, which direction do I really want to go? Do I want to be a journalist? Do I want to do a video or broadcasting, or do I want to do public relations? And by the end of my sophomore year, I said, well, you know, video and like that content aspect and journalism with the writing really helps in public relations. And I feel like public relations would really be the area that I would like to specialize. So I kind of focused on that. And then whenever I did the other activities, I kept that in mind to kind of make a more PR angle to things.
And it sounds like you're really thinking outside the box, which is something I know this interview is all about you, Alicia. I'm just going to share a couple little stories to see if it fits with what you're saying.
Okay.
But I was a chief technology officer, and I thought, okay, once you climb that ladder, okay, now I don't want to be a CEO necessarily, you know, unless it's my own company. But as far as looking at other companies, I thought, well, the next step is I want to be chief operating officer. It makes sense. And so I actually added, and this is strange, but I added psychology into the mix. Went for my master's in psychology. Now I don't have this, now I want to coach people. I don't necessarily want to go be a COO. But at the time I thought, okay, we're going to think outside the box. If I already understand technology, which normally that kind of actually does fall under a COO position. Many times the CTO reports to COO. Okay, I'm getting way too geeky on acronyms. But
I know what you mean.
To find something that doesn't necessarily seem like what people are looking for, but then when they see your resume and they see your experience, and your education, it's like, wow, that really would be a good fit.
Yeah, exactly.
And I hear that in what you're saying as far as communications. I mean, communications is really broad. It can mean a lot of things. And it sounds like that's kind of what you maximize. Like, yes, it's broad, but look at my resume. Look what I studied. Look at my degree.
Yeah, definitely.
You seem like the type that you just like walked out and got the first job. Did you have any struggles as far as like the job hunting after the degree?
Oh yeah. And I actually had suspected, with 3 degrees and like a great GPA, and I even published original research on Pinterest in my senior year through a thesis with the Association of Business Communication. I thought, I'm going to get a job like this, but I didn't. And it was actually a down time for me, because I'm like, man, why am I like not getting anything back from like the hundreds of resumes that I sent out? And eventually I found an internship that, you know, it paid. I'm like, oh, I'll just do an internship till I can actually find something. And actually on the internship, I was talking to one of the other designers, and she said, well, you know, there is a company that is like a city away, and they're looking for a web designer. I'm like, okay, well, I can't do web design, but I'll just check them out. And that was WebPageFX. And I saw on their career that they were hiring an online PR specialist, and I thought, that fits me perfectly. So I applied, and literally 5 minutes, Bill, the founder, had emailed me back and said, hey, we'd love to interview you. So it was really just a random networking event. And a lot of times, my husband says this too about his degree. He does personal fitness. And he says it's all about location and who you know. Mm-hmm. And especially for us, it's really about who you know. And I think that's why blogging and getting connected online is very important for our field as well.
Well, look at you say so many things that inspire me. I just try in one, but I think probably what you shared as far as sharing that, hey, I had some difficulty finding a job initially. And I had the same feeling, by the way. I thought, look at all the degrees I have in summa cum laude and everything. I should just get a job just like this. That's the same thought. But I think in sharing that's probably the most, even like the best part of this interview, because it helps people to understand as they're watching this on collegerecruiter.com. Mm-hmm. It's not to discourage those of you watching this, to say that is real life, and we'll make it to the other side.
Eventually, you will.
I think you're right. I think it's networking. I've been around the block a couple extra times, and there was a time when, I think you're correct, Alicia, that the degree, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I just luck of the draw or whatever, but there was a time where I got every job I interviewed for. And that was cool. And now, of course, now I get overqualified, which I don't know if that means, but so maybe it's like a different point. Sometimes it's easier on the entry level when you're actually coming. So see, those of you watching this on College Recruiter, that is a point of encouragement, that if you don't have too much experience, but you do have the degree, you might be able to at least have someone listen to you. But wow, Alicia, your resume and all the experience in blog writing and article writing, and that really definitely sounds like it helped you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the funny thing is, talking about writing, I was never really good at English in high school. And I took an honors class in college, and my professor really just invested in time in me to help me write. And I really got into started just creative writing. And I got better. The more you write, the better you get. So it really impressed me that when I started blogging just to improve my writing more, that people started paying attention. I got better. And now you're saying that, you think I'm an amazing writer, which means a lot to me, since originally I didn't think I was good at all. So, to the students who don't think they're good at something, you can improve.
That's excellent. So, they could even, if you're in college and you're looking at this saying, like you said, as far as I didn't take this class in high school, or I didn't do well in this class, don't give up hope. Even take another class, learn, even if basket weaving is your talent, go learn how to do it really well. Yes. Now, definitely. Do you think that passion, you mentioned that earlier, and I was thinking as you were describing that I love psychology. Now I'm going for my doctorate in psychology, so obviously I'm addicted to that, and that's my new path of it. I'm a master's in psychology, but I always said to myself, this is really bad, but I don't want to sit on a couch, listen to people's problems, and I want to say, get over it and go, like I'd be the worst psychologist, because it'd be like, okay, come on, just, suck it up. That's really bad. But as soon as the counselor mentioned IO psychology, it was like there was just something in almost like in my belly, a passion. Mm-hmm. Is that how you kind of know that, when you're talking to someone like, hey, you'd be good at this? Is that how it was for you, as far as you're looking at broadcasting, and then this other, it's like, wow, I feel that.
That's how I felt about the video broadcasting degree, but not about public relations originally. I mean, I thought, yes, I'm good with people, I'm good with public speaking, but public relations just sounded kind of like I didn't want to be stuck in an office all day necessarily. I wanted, get up and interact with people and act and become famous. But public relations actually grew on me. And okay. So I think it's a little bit different. And sometimes, you'll find the more you study something, the more exciting it gets. You'll find little things in there that can relate to you. And it'll just grow in you. And then, now I'm very passionate about it. I love what I do. But it definitely wasn't something immediately that I just had a burning passion for.
So maybe if we distilled that down to advice, pay attention to the burning passion if it's there. See if there's any merit to it.
Yes, if there's a burning passion, follow it.
But don't expect it. If you don't feel that, that doesn't mean that that's not the path for you.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So any other advice that you can think, I hope you don't mind that we turn this into all advice, but I think it seems like you like to help people.
Of course. If I can help someone, that'd be great. Yeah, actually, 2 big lessons for advice when it comes to switching from college to a career is, one, I found it was very difficult for me to not have strict answers. And in our field, a lot of times it's going to be experimenting. It's going to be just finding the opportunity. And in my internship before I got to WebPageFX, something that I learned there was that don't look for opportunities, or don't look for answers as much as you should be looking for opportunities. In college, it teaches us that everything has an answer. Everything has a right answer because you're graded that way. And when you get to a career, it's like, oh, well, that could be right, that could be wrong. We don't really know until we A/B test this and experiment. and it might be right for one client and it's going to be completely wrong for another. So definitely don't look for the answers as much as just looking for the opportunities.
Wow, that's excellent advice. I totally agree with you and what you just described is like that politically correct, which you have to be with clients. You can't be saying this is the way you have to look at it.
Yeah.
Clients. That's excellent. But I hadn't thought of that with college. Yeah, you have to have certain answers. You got to make the professor happy if you want to graduate some class.
It was so frustrating for me coming from college to a career and being like, there's no right answer for this. I can't look it up in a book or anything. I have to take risk. And going to the second point that I had mentioned, the second lesson was keep a swipe file. Even in college, I think it's really beneficial. If you find a campaign that you like, if you find an article, a blogger, and it can be anything from, some typography on Pinterest that inspires you, keep a swipe file of all that. Talking about Pinterest, that's a great place to keep your swipe file. I keep a few documents on my desktop that I have favorite sentences, so that whenever I need help with my writing, I'm like, I can't get that flow going. I look at these sentences and I'm able to draw from them inspiration, ways to format my sentences and write better or write well. And so keep that swipe file, look at campaigns that people win, get ideas from those so you have something to draw from in your career.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. I didn't start doing that until later in life, but I put it in Trello. So now I always have Trello.
Trello is another great one. Yes, Trello. Pocket is also a great one if it's just articles that you're collecting. But yeah, definitely.
Excellent. You could have a swipe file on all of them, and you can cross-link between them. So it's like, what's on Pinterest? Where's my board?
Huge network here.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much, Alicia, for joining us and for sharing a bit of who Alicia is and your
my pleasure.
And your inspiration. And how can people find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter, where I'm probably most active besides Facebook, at Alicia, and then it's _LW. Or you can just type in Alicia Lawrence, and I'm probably one of the first people to pop up. I'm also on Google Plus with Alicia Lawrence. I'm on Instagram. If you type in Alicia White Cabbage for that one, White Cabbage is my maiden name. And so my Instagram and LinkedIn and Pinterest are all connected to that maiden name of White Cabbage, which is hard to spell, but it's unique. White, like a color, and then like a savage, but with a C.
Ah, you've practiced this a few times. So I was trying to figure out, that's how I was thinking it spelled, but I thought that's a great way to describe it.
Yes, I've had a lot of practice. I'm glad now that I'm a Lawrence, because that's pretty typical to spell.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And you can watch for this to show up on collegerecruiter.com.
Great. Thank you, Deb.
Thank you.